Hey, folks, and welcome to yet another episode of You Dig. Man, oh man, if you've been enjoying the March of the Sampler Platters, one of the little-known movements to the Nutcracker Suite, March of the Sampler Platters, then you'll know that today is Lynn Seaton Day here at You Dig. And man, did we have a great time. Lots of stuff. We talked about all kinds of things. Lynn Seaton, one of the great bass virtuosos on the planet, incredible educator, wonderful guy, just sings, plays, scholar, knows the music, knows the history, great teacher, as well as one of the best bass players I've ever heard. Unbelievable technique, but it's always swinging. It's got a basis of pocket and swing and intonation that unequaled, man, unparalleled. So we are going to dive into some of that, talk about the music, and get to hang with the great Lynn Seaton. So without further ado, folks, here is Lynn Seaton. Hey, look, everybody, it's Lynn Seaton. Look at there.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, my brother Lynn? Man, I must apologize for this unruly audience, man. Woo! Yeah, settle down. There's so many fans of virtuoso bass players here today that they're going nuts. Enough. Settle down. I know it's Papa Seaton. He's here, but still. Well, so glad you could be here, my friend.
Glad to be here, too. Thanks for having me. It's a really cool thing you've been doing.
Well, thank you. It's I've been touting it as the time goes on now. This is the third year, but I'm starting to do a lot more of it now. And the concept is, let's have a show where folks get together on the front porch of the hippest crib in town, share a drop or two of something cheerful and some biscuits and hang and just talk.
Well, my drop or two of something cheerful is coffee.
Same here.
At the moment.
Oh, yes, and it makes me quite cheerful. So here's to you, lad.
Yes, it is. It is morning as we record this.
It is indeed. Folks will be listening to it on their commute to work on Monday, maybe, or sitting around with some s'mores and chicken. I don't know what they'll be eating, watching it on TV, but
some more chicken.
Some what? Some more chicken. Woo! There's a chart title lurking in there somewhere.
I think so.
Some more chicken.
Yeah.
Well, I have to full disclosure. I mean, obviously, Lynn and I have known each other for a while. To my great benefit. I gotta tell you, man, I think all the time about what a joy it was to come out my door of my office where I worked at North Texas and take a left, and there was Lynn.
It was great to have you. If I took a left, and there you were. So
see,
in the jazz hall,
we had it worked out geographically there, and it was you kept me moderately sane. I wouldn't say you kept me sane, but moderately. Oh my gosh, just what. I got to give some people the scenario here. We would talk music, of course, and academia stuff. That was a faux pas on purpose, but we would talk those kind of things. But what I really enjoyed was, and we can't repeat any of them here, I don't think, but your alternate lyrics to classic songs. From the Great American Songbook.
There are quite a few. Boy, I learned over the years.
Quite a few. I especially enjoyed Brazil, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yes.
I won't request it. Don't worry.
I did not make
something.
I did not make that one up. I did not make that one up.
Well, you presented it to me as first time I heard it, and I still. Oh my gosh, that cracks me up. In fact, I feel uncomfortable around folks that don't laugh, that can't crack up. It's or that just use their regular voice all the time. They don't use other voices. So, man,
maybe they don't hear other voices like you do.
I've got a lot to choose from in this crazy noggin. But here's a request. One of my favorite things that you did back in those days, and I've now used it on clinics. It's become standard fare, and the high school kids love it because I pitch it as, how would you like to be able to cuss in front of your pastor or your grandparents or your rabbi? And they love it. And then I do the bit that I first heard from you. So I'm officially going to request now the Sean Connery. Hit it.
Well, I would love to hear your interpretation of it that you've been sharing, because honestly, I've not been practicing it as much. And it sounds like you have.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's become a trope, a thing. I've assimilated it. And I always say that my buddy Lynn Seaton taught me this. So I'll tell the audience, I say, and sadly, as time marches on, the media references start to dissipate from one generation to the other. So
yes,
Sean Connery is kind of hanging in there. I don't do my Walter Brennan or anything anymore because nobody will know that. I don't even know Jimmy Stewart. But so I say Sean Connery, and they still, because there was a little bit of a rebirth with the SNL. Celebrity Jeopardy, they were doing that for a minute. So he's still kind of there. So I say, here's how you can cuss in front of anybody. So first you got a Scottish accent. You've got to do it like a rock, things like that. And then you slur your S's, and you get even a lower voice like that and say, "Grandmother, look, you look tired. Come in here and shit on the couch." And this, see, I'll put in some laughter right there. Oh, it's going to sound funny. It'll be like I Love Lucy.
I'm laughing. You do it so well.
See? Thank you. I've been working on it for quite a while.
I can tell. That's why I asked you to do it instead of me.
Well, so anyway, yeah, those times were great fun for me. And I treasure them, my friend. I think about them a lot.
As do I.
Oh, man. And here we are on the front porch of the hippest crib in town. Here's an interesting tidbit I wanted to toss out that I didn't know. Maybe I knew this, but enlighten us a bit. You, sir, are a Fulbright scholar.
I was. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Tell us about, was it Riga?
Yes.
Riga, is that how you say it?
I was looking at Fulbright scholar opportunities for many years. As you know, being in academia, it's nice to have a few academic feathers in one's cap. So
Indeed.
A Fulbright would have been a good one, but many of them are for science, mathematics, et cetera, and require a doctorate. So I'd been looking for music opportunities and specifically jazz opportunities for many years, and there were few and far between. But one popped up, and I looked at the qualifications, and it looked like someone had written it just for me.
Whoa.
All of the skills that they were asking for were the things that I do. Teaching improv, teaching bass, coaching rhythm sections, performing, many other qualifications. And English was fine to teach in English. So that's a good thing, because Latvian is a very challenging language.
I would imagine.
So it's an isolated language. It's not Germanic based like many other languages are. It's all kind of by itself. So anyway, I applied for this and I was chosen. So amazing. So it was an incredible experience. I went for a long semester. Their semesters don't exactly line up with ours. So I went there for quite some time, and went there in the fall semester and came back just in time to begin our spring semester at UNT.
What years was that?
That was exactly 10 years ago, 2014. Well, more than, I guess, 11 now. You think it was 2014 into 2015.
Oh, man.
If I recall correctly.
I had just split. That's why I didn't know about it. I guess I had just left.
Yes.
But
so it was very cool.
Wow. Well, congrats. How was that? The Latvian students, etc. How was that?
Man, they are dedicated. It's an incredible scene. Uh, Joseph Vittel's Latvian Academy of Music was one of the few buildings that was spared during World War II. And it's a beautiful, beautiful building. There's more Art Deco buildings in Latvia than anywhere else in the world. And
really,
bit by bit by bit, they are rebuilding them and resurfacing them. It's an incredibly beautiful city. Some of
Art
it's still,
Deco.
Some of it's still, you know, suffering from World War II, because it takes a lot of money to rebuild these things, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But jazz is a really popular thing, and some of the backstory is very moving. The Voice of America was a show that was, the jazz part was led by Willis Conover, and he broadcast all across the Iron Curtain, broadcasting jazz. And jazz was illegal during the Soviet times, but people still wanted to play it. And they, of course, could get the radio. And many of the elder generation, they would gather in somebody's place and board up the windows, so to speak, so that people couldn't hear them. And as a group, they'd listen to Willis Conover. And I heard stories of them doing this in a group, and they would have their music staff paper, and they'd pull it out, and Willis would say, and now here's Charlie Parker's Now's the Time. And they said, oh, we started that one. And they pull it out, and they say, you've got the first 4 bars, you got the next 4 bars. And they would transcribe as a group in real time. The song's over, and he'd call the next one. So consequently, their ears are amazing. Their knowledge of jazz history is incredible, because they were hungry for it. So they were
that's the thing, when people want it, when they really want it. And man.
So they have passed this down to the love of students. And the teaching methods involve that transcription, that listening, that history. It's incredible. And the Latvian Academy of Music has a small jazz program, but it's incredibly thorough, really great. Indicus Wittners is the head of the department, and he's really talented woodwind player and a great teacher and great mentor to all these students. So I was very honored to get chosen to go there, and it was an incredible semester. Aubrey, our daughter, went with me for the whole time. Then Mariana came for the last month. So I highly recommend being a Fulbright. It's an incredible experience that one will live with you for the rest of one's life.
They chose the right guy. I'm sure they loved you there, man. That's especially if they love the music and it's been passed down generationally like that, and they're into listening it. To me, that's, and we've talked about this before, to me, that's the way to learn our music is, on the bandstand, listening, being with a mentor, and I'll bet you just excelled at that.
It was really fun.
Man,
there is a video on YouTube that maybe we could check out. A duo with Evilena Protektore, an incredible singer that was one of the students, but I ended up doing gigs with her. And we actually recorded a couple things in the studio, and including a duo on You Don't Know What Love Is. And to this day, it's still one of my favorite things I have recorded. And you'll see us in an old Soviet studio, and it's incredible. She sings great. And a few years later, Paul English was coordinating a recording session in Houston, and the singer that he was producing was looking at videos of people that he was considering to play on his record, and saw me and decided on me. And one of the videos that Paul found was this duet of Evilena and myself. So Paul said, hey, do you know a singer that sounds like Evilena? I said, why don't you just call Evilena? So she ended up coming here to the States and recording of the record. So we'll check out that video on You Don't Know What Love Is. It's fun video.
I'm going to write it down here. I will put it on the info. I'll put the link and the info under the video here.
Great.
So look for it right down here in the info section, folks.
And you'll hear me on my Eminence electric upright bass.
Oh,
but it's very well
that would
recorded.
be my.
If you listened with your ears and not your eyes, you might not know that it's an amplified electric upright.
Wow.
But I like that duo a lot because it allowed us to do things in a duo that one normally wouldn't do when you're playing with a full band.
How wonderful, man. That's what a great thing. What a great thing for her to come over here and record. And man, all right, well, we'll definitely pop that video on there so folks can check it out. Well, you know what? Here is a game that I've come up with for cats such as yourself who have such a vast canon of people that you've played with. Because I mentioned this in the sampler platter. Everybody wants Lynn Seaton to be on their albums. I even had you on one of mine, which was a joy, called Out of the New.
Yeah.
We had such fun with that. And man, you just played so well on that. And so everybody wants you. So there's a lot of folks that we could drop names all day. But here's the game. I call it, you'll appreciate this, being a fellow road warrior. On Maynard's band, Dennis de Blasio kind of started this, and Denny and I were roommates, like brothers, so I would just tag along. So we would go to the front of the bus, and that's where Maynard lived, the front seat. And Denny would just toss out names. So he'd go to the front and just, yeah, boss, Miles Davis. Yeah, Miles. Well, and then boom, it would be story time. So the game is front of the bus. I'm going to toss out names and you just tell me what you got. Here's name number 1, Thad Jones.
Thad Jones was the leader of the Count Basie Orchestra when I joined the band. On the recommendation of Dennis McCrell, the great drummer and the great writer, he recommended me for the Basie band, and Thad called me. So that's how I got to know Thad. And he toured with the band until he got too ill and had to leave. And that's when Frank Foster took over. But Thad was ever joyful. I call him effervescent Thad Jones.
Wow. The effervescent.
Yeah. Is incredible.
That's nice.
And to see him leading the band and also witness him writing on the bus.
I was going to ask you about that. Tell us about that process. It's amazing.
It was almost as if he was taking dictation. He would be sitting in his seat and he'd look up, no keyboard, and then he'd start writing. Transpose scores on score paper. Unbelievable. Just
wow.
And if you see any of his scores that are in the archives at William Patterson University, notice there are very few erasers. It was all done in, on score paper. It's pre-internet and pre-electronic finale, all of that sort of stuff. And it's amazing. You look at it and say, wow, there's hardly any erasers.
That's like Mozart level right there. That's just incredible.
Phenomenal. And his conducting, he conducted the music. So if we're grooving, he's doing that, and bip, blop, floo. I mean, you could see it in his hands. So that was a joy to be around him.
And that may have been, I think we've talked about this, that may have been the first time I met you. It might have been with Woody, but I think it was the Thad experience because we were someplace and that band was going to play and I was just amazed. Oh my gosh, the Basie band with Thad leading and I can't wait. And I believe we said hello. I'm sure we must have gravitated like magnets.
Yes, indeed.
Man, so I'll never forget his. That's the first time I heard Lil Darlin' with the drag triplets.
Oh,
and he would conduct them at the end. Woof.
Yeah.
And they still play it like that. So.
They do. And they leave out some of the other notes on the tag. That was the way it became.
Right.
So it's really beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of ways to play great songs.
Yeah.
That's how that one evolved.
man. Well, okay, and the same ensemble gives us another name I want to hear about from you, Freddie Green.
Yes,
Tell us.
Mr. Rhythm.
Yes.
Freddie Green was so humble, so steady, unbelievable groove. So as a bass player that always loved the feel of the Count Basie Orchestra and that all-American rhythm section, to get to play with Freddie for 2 years, possibly, I didn't actually count the gigs, but it's approximately 400 gigs, I think, that I got to play with Freddie Green. And the feel is amazing, you know. He was a man of few words, if you think about how humble it is to play rhythm guitar and just play time in the band.
Yeah.
So he was always nice and cordial, but didn't talk a lot.
Is the legend true? You probably never had an occasion to see this, but I've heard from drummers and stuff that if he didn't like your time, he would take the guitar and just set it like that and stop playing, or that was an indication that your time was not happening.
I don't know about that, but I do know that the last time I ever asked anyone professionally if things are okay was after a while, because Freddie was so quiet. You know, when I first joined the band, I had casual and in-depth conversations, everything in between with everybody in the band, but not really with Freddie. So I said, "Hey, Freddie, is everything cool?" And he said, "If things aren't, I'm going to tell you." And so I was like, okay, I'm never going to ask again. I'm never going to open up that can of worms, you know?
Wow.
And I talked to some close friends about that and said, yeah, you've been a professional long enough. Stop asking that question. You just open up a can of worms that doesn't need to be open, and people will start trying to find something, you know? But Freddie said it the way it should be. It's like, if it's not right, I will tell you. I was like, wow, thanks, Freddie, for your honesty. So, another Freddie Green story. As you know, he wrote Corner Pocket in honor of the pool game, and he was a really incredible pool player. So,
this I didn't know.
One of my joyful moments on the road was, you know, as being a road rat yourself, it's nice sometimes when you get to a place and you sit in a hotel and do runouts from there for a couple days to a week. Well, we were at one of the old Holiday Inn holodomes, which had all the rooms around a big circle, and in the middle was the pool area and a restaurant and a bar and a pool table. So Freddie was holding court playing pool. And I'm not very good at pool, but I enjoy the game and played a bit more then than I do now. So I put down my quarters on the table, and Freddie wiped it clean. Bam.
Wow.
I'm done. Next.
Woo! Ran the table on you.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, welcome to the band, youngster. So it was great.
That's the best. You can say that you were pool sharked by Freddie Green.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man, what a piece of history you had there.
Yes.
Well, let me toss out a couple more. Here's an interesting name that too many people don't know about, but many people our age and a little younger heard him on TV. Bob Dorough.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you got some stories there.
Bob was a great singer, songwriter, and pianist. Many people know him for his School of Rock stuff, but he wrote a lot of
Junction.
Yeah, What's Your Function? He wrote a lot of great things, and he was a fine piano player. He also is on Blue Christmas with Miles Davis. He wrote that.
That's right.
And he was truly a unique artist, a unique literal voice, and a unique pianist style. So there was a period in New York that his regular bass player, a guy named Bill Takis, had apparently moved to Europe. The story I heard was that he was in love with someone and stayed in Europe, which opened up some time for Bob to hire some other players. And also Blossom Dearie related to that, because they both loved Bill Takis. and we're used to
Oh,
playing
okay.
duo with Bill. So I got the call to play some things with Bob Dorough. It was truly remarkable. And
Wow.
yeah, it was really, really incredible.
Is it true? It seems like I've heard it somewhere, and I don't know if I've gotten this wrong over the years. Did he have a song that My Girlfriend's So Hip, I Call Her Man?
I think that's actually Dave Frischberg wrote the song.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But they were friends
Okay.
and did, in the same circuit. But yeah, that song is called
Wow.
I'm Hip. I was hip. When
It's
it was
called
hip.
I'm Hip.
Yeah. I was hip when it was hip to be hep.
I love that line. I use that all the time, but now I will give it appropriate annotation.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a name that more people should know about and study. Jay McShann. You hung with him a bit?
Yeah. The first time I was probably for the New Jersey Jazz Society, one of their festivals out in Jersey. And I got to play with Jay on one of those festivals. And he ended up calling me to go to Japan with him. And that's pretty exciting. And yeah. So actually, several years later, after his passing, I was contacted by some promoters in Japan, and they had found a live recording that was really nice quality. And they ended up putting out a limited release. So that's pretty exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
You recorded with the guy who, did he ever tell the story about Bird getting the name Bird? I mean, that was with Jay, right?
It was. He was, Charlie Parker was one of the first people that Bird played with and did get to record.
Yeah.
I read that story enough times that I actually didn't ask him about that particular one. But that is the true story, apparently. So.
Talk about history. Oh, my gosh. I mean, for our listeners that aren't aware of it, supposedly something along the lines of they're driving in the country, Jay McShann and Charlie Parker's in one of the cars that they're driving, and back then the roads were close to farmhouses and stuff, and some chickens ran out, and they hit one. And supposedly Charlie Parker said, "Hey, man, come on, let's go back and pick up that yard bird," which was the slang term. And so we can cook it up later. And they brought it to some lady they were staying with and cooked it up. So they started calling him Bird, I guess. But
apparently so. Yeah.
Crazy. Great. Jay McShann, man, one of the greats.
Yeah, he was a great pianist and a great blues singer. I mean, dripping with the blues. I love the blues in jazz. It's such an important element. And it was such an honor to get to play with Kansas City royalty. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is royalty. There's I used to love to show videos to students all the time, and there's a great one on Charlie Parker, and it's got a lot of Jay McShann, and they're talking about the blues and early Kansas City stuff, and God, what a cool guy.
Indeed. I'm really honored that record came out, and I think there is you can find it on YouTube. So
another link, I'm going to look for that. Jay McShann, and do you remember what is it called, or how could I find it? Maybe
Live in Tokyo. I think it's called Live.
Okay, I'll see if I can dig it up. If so, it will also live down here in the treasure trove of Seatonian.
You should put a link down when we were talking about your record to walk.
I will
walk this way or something.
Yeah. It Walk This Way had you had a solo on the Mr. Rogers tune. It's You I Like.
It is. That's a nice one. That was. I remember how beautiful that song is, of course, and how well it turned out and how pretty. I forgot. Yes,
I'll put that link down there for sure. That was a really fun album. That was myself, Lynn, the great Ed Soph, Stefan Carlson, and Fred Hamilton.
Indeed,
what a great group, man. And Luxury, Embarrassment of Riches. These are the cats that we worked with every day. So, gosh, It's just it's pretty darn cool getting to do what you love for a living.
Yes.
Man.
The University of North Texas was and still is an incredible place.
Oh man, you know I bleed green, as they say. Even though I could care less about the football team, but I bleed green. The concept of what happens at North Texas and has always happened there. UNT, the faculty, the amazing students, the laboratory. Oh, what do you got there?
A UNT T-shirt.
Oh, there it is. That's beautiful. I love the artwork.
Me too.
That's really, man, that's hip.
That's why I wore it.
Giving a good look. Well, for those that are listening to audio only, he's got a T-shirt on Women's History, UNT, a beautiful artwork with it almost looks like Miles Davis painting.
Oh,
kind of, that kind of style. Beautiful shirt. So, Lynn, boy, I tell you what, if y'all aren't watching the videos, you're only getting half the story. The audio's fun, you're driving in the car, but check him out on the video because my man Lynn is styling. The alto player Ron Carter used to call such an outfit. He would say, "Mr. Clean." So that's Lynn today is Mr. Clean. You know what? We should talk a little bit about the sampler platter, some of the tunes that were put on there.
Sure.
Because I gave a little teaser on all of them, but we need to have the real deal. First off, one of my favorite albums of all time is the Woody Herman 50th anniversary tour. And we get Blues for Red, John Fedchock's great chart. I've always loved that chart. Roger Ingram living here in Chicago now, wailing away at the end.
Absolutely.
But we have an appearance by Mr. Slam Stewart here at the beginning of the record. Tell us, for those that aren't familiar with that style and maybe haven't heard the recording, well, go to the sampler platter and you will hear something that very few bass players can do. How did you get into that?
Well, it was said to me by my elders long ago to play what you sing and sing what you play. So I was experimenting with that, with bass lines and with soloing and all of that sort of stuff. And then someone said, "Hey, have you ever heard of Slam Stewart and Major Holly?" And back then it was like, no, I hadn't. So started checking out those recordings. I'm very honored to have gotten to know both of them when they were with us, and hung quite a bit with Major and a little bit with Slam. So I'm not imitating their tone or phrasing, but the concept of singing with the bass is absolutely part of the history. So since you're in Chicago now, the great John Basie, the great late John Basie, was also a singing bass master. So he's from Cincinnati.
Well, I like your growly approach to it.
Thanks.
It's a nice touch, man. And as soon as I heard that you could do that, I couldn't wait to hear it. And it's been one of my favorite things, part of your canon. So long, beautiful solo on that great track.
I want to talk a little bit about Woody and my first night and singing and all of that.
Let's hear it.
As it is with many of the road bands in those days, you got a call and you showed up when it's your turn to join the band, and you showed up and you played a gig, no rehearsal, none of that. So there are many other stories about my first night, but the one I want to tell now was we were playing Greasy Sack Blues, and I didn't know that anyone had told Woody that I sang when I soloed. Now, we carried our own PA under the bus in those days, and the microphones that we have are similar to what I use in the bridge of my microphone, in that the microphone has a tiltable head. So there's the stem and the tiltable head. So it kind of looked like a pistol.
Oh, right.
And it would fit on top of the music stand, and Woody would sing into it and play into it and all of that. So we're doing Greasy Sack Blues, and I see Woody turn around and he's looking at me, and he walked fairly slowly in those days. So he's walking back from the front towards me, and he gets closer and closer and he's right in my face, And he goes like that. And it looks like he's holding up a gun right to me. And he goes, sing.
Oh,
So I started doing all that sort of stuff. Anyway.
Wow.
So
that's like a Godfather approach. That's like a Michael Corleone kind of thing.
So that was in the book from then on, to do that on a tune.
Wow.
So
how cool, man. Well, yeah, who wouldn't jump on that if you found out you had a treasure like that available to you, man. We could, with all of these, we could just do a whole show just on one of these names and the experiences.
You're right.
And that's the amazing thing. We often joke, us road warriors, about the greatest stories are the ones that can't be told. They either implicate somebody else unfairly, or it's just you probably shouldn't be telling those stories. But the ones that can be told, we have to tell them, and that's
absolutely.
That's one of the reasons for this podcast too, is so we can get some of that. Because man, there's no books. There's a couple that come close, but there's no really books out there that cover a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a one that I really enjoyed, because it's just all Lynn all day long, the whole track, from the solo flights. Improvisation for Aubrey, your daughter.
Yeah.
Who I mentioned that I know well, and now Aubrey is up here in Chicago. I can't wait to see her at some point doing the audio engineer thing. Still songwriting and all that?
Absolutely, that too. And still playing guitar and recording her own music and music for others as well. So
we got to get in touch. I want to see what she's up to.
Absolutely.
So tell us about Improvisation. I noticed on the album, typical Lynn Seaton fashion, one take, no overdubs, little gems, just bam, bam, bam.
Well,
and this is one of them.
The whole solo bass record thing came about because in my practice, I would play tunes and do a whole routine, which is what a lot of my teaching is based on as well now, where I'd play melodies and play arpeggios and scales on the tunes and walk and solo and improvise and try to play chords on some things. And that evolved into the Solo Flights record. But the Improv for Aubrey is one that I do arco. And it's in a bass-friendly key, too. So I'm able to incorporate a lot of harmonics and open strings and chords, and it's nice.
Spot on intonation. I mean, you notice.
Thanks.
It's right center bullseye of the target. Sometimes I'll hear a great bassist, and when they go arco, you can tell they haven't done that as much. And it's like, here's the target for the intonation. It's it's like Jerry Lewis. But boom, boom, boom. Another cat that's like that is John Clayton.
Yes.
You guys deserve to wield the bow.
Well, it wasn't always that well done. So I had those moments too.
Practice.
But I also want to give a shout out to my bass brother, Mark Egan. Some of you may know from Pat Metheny back in the day.
Sure.
I recorded that at his home studio. I was living about an hour north of Manhattan in those days, and he was living not too far away and had an incredible home studio. So that's where I recorded it. It was nice sounding record. I'm very happy with the production.
Yes, it is. It sounds great. Engineering on it is beautiful. None too easy a task. Not a given all the time with the acoustic bass.
Yeah.
But wow, it sounds wonderful.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the construction of the improvisation. Very, very. It's kind of like in a different way, but the same approach that JJ would do. His improvisations always sounded like a composition, So same with this piece.
There are chord changes.
I'm hoping
it's not random. It's just there are chord changes that I'm thinking of.
Oh, nice! Wow. So did you prepare that ahead of time and just memorize the chord progression and improvised?
Yes. I mean, like any piece that you play a lot, some things get to be permanent. I mean, you toured with Maynard and others, and after a while you've played a solo on the same song. Some of the same things are going to get played every night.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
it's like, that's the best thing I could figure out to do right there.
Yeah,
That
sure.
piece,
Nothing wrong with that.
That piece has evolved in that direction. There
Ah.
are other live recordings of it and videos of me playing it, and there are definitely variations, but some things have become permanent. I'm inspired by my solo bass playing, of course, by many other bass players, but most definitely Francois Rabath, who also has published several solo bass pieces. But when you get to hear him live more than once, you realize there's improvisation within those written pieces. And which came first? The improvisation. And then let's publish those, and there they are. So I'm inspired by that method.
That's fantastic. And that goes deep in so-called classical music, the improvisational aspects that tend to have gotten lost to the mists of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to have seen Mozart or Bach going off on somebody and making jokes and improvising in their style.
That would be fun.
That must have been a hang.
Yes, absolutely.
Woo! Well, speaking of amazing compositions, and I had to look this one up because I wasn't familiar with perhaps some of the history, but I'll leave that to you because probably Kenny told you some of it. But Peggy's Blue Skylight, the great Charles Mingus, it reminds me of the way that Duke would write the programmatic and Strayhorn, but then Mingus in a different way. But it always is telling such a story, and this one actually did have a story. But tell us about that session with this wonderful trio.
Well, I was very fortunate to be musically affiliated with Kenny Drew for many years. One of my closest associates in New York. The Art Tatum of my generation, really. Sadly, left the concert, as Ron Carter says, a little bit too early.
That's for sure.
But we got to play
50s.
At various venues in New York, Bradley's, the Village Vanguard, and some other venues, and record together. So it was truly amazing to me to get to play with him and record several records and do many live gigs. Phenomenal player. And not just his command of music. He was heavily schooled in classical music as well, which allowed him to
explains some of the technique.
Absolutely. Anything he heard, he could swing so hard, but his harmonic conception is very advanced and very deep and very modern. But he did it all the while swinging, really swinging. And it made sense. I could, even though I may not understood everything he was playing, it made sense when you listened to it. It wasn't like somebody throwing bricks at you while you're on the bandstand. Said, "Here, take this." Oh, crushing.
Yeah, right.
So it was phenomenal to work with him and record. Yeah, I think we did 7 records under his name and a couple for other folks.
Wow. And on this particular cut, Smitty Smith sounds great with you guys. It's, that must have been something.
One of the greats, all-time great.
Yeah.
Smitty,
I agree.
Yeah, was incredible. I mean, he was working with everybody in New York, and then, of course, he took the Tonight Show gig and still out in California. And miss getting to play with him these days, but what a swinging cat, and what a nice man. So,
see, that's always good to hear when some of these great virtuosos. I met him briefly once at a jazz camp, but not enough to get to know him. It's great to hear that he's a nice guy.
Absolutely.
Man. Well, did he tell you a bit of the story? I just happened to look it up.
Oh, go ahead. It's fresh on your mind. So
it is, and I'd heard something. So there was a socialite named Peggy Hitchcock in New York. And I guess Mingus and some other cats would hang out in this social gathering. It was the U-Dig of New York, I would guess. But So they're hanging out, and this Peggy says something along the line. She had a skylight in her apartment and said, I want to have a permanent blue sky. So I'm going to change that skylight and use aircraft plastic shielding that's blue. So it'll always be a blue sky. And the building code folks wouldn't let her do it. So Mingus said, I'll give you your skylight. And I guess that's where the title comes from.
Wow. Isn't that a great story?
It is. It is, man. That's, and these kinds of stories, when we go deeper into the language of the music, like I remember our good friend in common between the two of us, Brad Leali, told me that when he first went out with Basie and some of the elders were still on the band, he was amazed to find out that a lot of these licks and bebop fragments came from songs that he had never heard. And these cats knew the lyrics, so he'd play some up or something like that, and they'd say, going out with whoever, and it would, there's lyrics to these things, and who knew?
Like Basie's classic lick, da 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 da. So smoke man, keep them bottles quiet. There are many of those.
That's crazy, and there needs to be a whole book that's just that. A book of the lyrics behind the licks we all play, and maybe even a book. There probably is a book on the hip verses that are no longer played, the intros to classic tunes.
That's true. Some of the way phrases sound. Clark Terry wrote a book on vocal sounds and how to phrase them. It's never really got published, but there are copies around. And
oh man, I'd love to see that.
When you see what's written in a big band with the scoops and the falls and all that, you hear Clark scat singing, and he wrote down all the amazing sounds that he said, and he codified it all, so it completely makes sense.
Oh, this book needs to get out there.
I agree.
Why is this thing not published, man? We got to find out. Do some research on that one.
Yes.
Wow. Okay then. Well, did we cut? Oh no, we got one more. Hey, here's it's Butch Miles time.
Oh yeah.
And I say on the platter, the beneficent Butch Miles, because he chose a tune that's known for featuring the drummer, but it features the bass. Cute.
Yeah.
And man, what a great chart. How did this come about that he just lay it on you and say, so Butch Miles, the great drummer, I would think most of our listeners know about Butch, but you and he did a lot of things together, and Basie, he's famous for Basie, but played with so many cats, such a great drummer.
Yes, he is.
Musician. And this, I want to hear about the how that happened, that Cute became the bass feature, but also the band that was, I mean, we've been talking about Frank West and people like that. He's there. I assume that was him on flute.
It is, yeah.
And now, how about my man? I was surprised to see the name Bill Porter on there. Is that the trombonist from Chicago?
Yes.
Man, he's a hero around these parts.
Indeed.
Famously with the Bozo Circus Band. When I was a kid, I saw, hey, listen to that trombone player.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still playing. He's approaching 100 and still out there playing gigs.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, but what an incredible band. Kenny Drew's on there. My man Doug Lawrence. Man, what a aggregation.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So this is a great album. What is it? Straight On Till Morning? Is that what it's
the name of it? Yes. So how that came about is that it was Butch's idea, and
really
he had obviously played Cute a billion times with Count Basie and at other jazz parties and jazz festivals, and he wanted to record it, but do something different with it. And Frank West is on the session, so to have Frank West, who played the original flute solo, it's amazing, you know?
Wow.
So
that's one of those pieces of history you grabbed onto with that one.
But he flipped it and had me do all the bass fills and a nice long bass solo. So all the fills that are meant for the drums, it's a similar arrangement, but with me doing the fills instead of the drums, and getting to take a long solo. And Frank takes an amazing solo too.
Yes, and everybody needs to get this album and all the things on the sampler Platter. And I always say, hunt them down, do a little extra work, and pay 99 cents to buy the track. And if you're at it, buy the whole album, man. But there is the ultimate Lynn Seaton moment. Just blew me away. The ending, the last lick he played is like, what? It's like, it's like, whoa, how did he stick that in there?
Those are all improvised. Every fill is improvised.
That
that was not written.
It just,
da 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 fill.
Yep.
So every one of them is improvised. None of that was written.
Everybody needs to check that one out, man. That is,
if he wrote that, I'd say I couldn't play it.
Right. That would be one of those that would. Yeah, you pulled off a couple that were, I'm sure, someplace like Neil deGrasse Tyson is. That's not physically possible. There's some quarks involved here, maybe some qubits. That's a great one, man. Holy cow! All right, well, here is a surprise for you.
All right.
Have you checked out any Stephen Colbert? You ever watch him?
Absolutely.
All right, so he's got the Colbert Questionnaire, which only recently did I realize that he spells questionnaire like Colbert. I didn't realize that. It's pretty hilarious. Where he says he wants to ask questions that will plumb the depths of a guest to really get to know them. So I thought, man, I need to get me a questionnaire. So I came up with the Dig You Inquisition on You Dig.
What do you expect, the Spanish Inquisition?
See? Nobody expects the Dig You Inquisition. And here's a fun thing. Now, we'll have to do that. This is our theater of the mind thing until I learn how to do this on Riverside correctly. But there's a fanfare that I've been using to introduce the Dig You Inquisition. And our good buddy Jeff Coffin was on the show recently. And I told him about the fanfare. I said, I'm going to play it, and then, but that'll be in post. So we're going to have to react. And before I could explain it, he goes, fanfare? Here, I got a trumpet. And he picked up this trumpet and played the worst fanfare you have ever heard.
Perfect.
And then he made a joke about it. His joke was, besides the bad intonation, time, and rhythm, what'd you think? It's one of those shticks. And then he played it again. So I took both of them and stacked them on top of each other, and it's just the worst thing you've ever heard in your life. And it hurts so good. So
great.
Without further ado, here's 7 questions, 7 cues to heaven. Lynn Seaton will now take the Dig You Inquisition. And now we're back, and what about that fanfare? What'd you think?
What about it? That was the weirdest thing I've never heard.
Hey! Oh, my goodness, we're here for another 3 minutes, folks. Okay, then. Well, question number 1 on the Dig You Inquisition. Lynn Seaton, your favorite superhero. Now, this could be comic books, movies, or real life.
Well, as a kid, probably the old Superman. That's the first one that I really remember.
Me too.
George Reeves.
It really, when you get right down to it, there is no other superhero. I mean, he can just, unless you do a workaround with kryptonite or something, you can't beat him. This reminds me of Lou Marini, our pal Blue Lou was on the show.
Yeah.
And he taught, when I asked him this question, he says, well, I don't really have a favorite one, but I got to tell you, Alan Rubin's favorite, Mr. Fabulous. He says his favorite superhero, Alan Rubin, was a guy comes flying into your office in a suit and sits down and does all your books for you and your taxes, and his name is Superman. Which I thought is highly inappropriate, but since Alan said it, Oy, Superman. All right, so Superman, there's no correct answers to any of these, but I would say Superman is the correct answer. But
Okay.
all right, number 2, your favorite sports team or athlete?
Wow.
I know, right?
That's indeed a challenge.
And sometimes some cats have said, "Hey, I'm not into sports," and then in so doing, we learn about them even deeper.
Yeah. Well, growing up in Tulsa, we had few professional sports, but there were a farm team, the Tulsa Oilers, in baseball.
Nice. Who's that the farm team for?
I don't know now who it is for. I don't remember.
I should.
Yeah, I should too. So
maybe it's the Astros or something, but
not sure about that. So I lived in Cincinnati for quite a while, so the Bengals have a place in my heart, I guess. But I hate to pick just one. I'm one of those that I enjoy when I do watch games of baseball or football. I just enjoy a good game. But I'm not one to watch every day or during season or any of that, and I don't necessarily follow one team. So
see, this really demonstrates the difference between you and I that I noticed when we were working together at North Texas, is that you are quite healthy and advanced, and I am unhealthy and foolish most of the time. For me, it's a complete obsession my whole life with the Chicago Cubs.
Well, there you go.
So, Angst is my middle name. Yours is a much healthier existence.
Angst for the memories.
Go! See how he is with the puns, ladies and gentlemen? Man, between you and Rich DeRosa, it was, forget it, man. You get, those are the punsters deluxe right there. Okay, number 3. Now we're into some music stuff. The impossible question, but I try to frame it a little differently. What is a recording that you find yourself coming back to over and over again? It's like, God, I got to listen to that again. Your go-to.
Oscar Peterson Trio +1, Clark Terry.
Boom! I knew you were going to say that because you turned me on to that.
Oh, did I?
I was, I was aware of the oeuvre, and I'd probably heard some of it. But man, we sat down once and you just said, "Man, let's listen to this," and wow.
There are a couple others that are way up there. A collection, any Basie record with Eddie Jones on bass is up there. And of course, Oscar Peterson Trio, We Get Requests.
Ugh.
But there are many more. I can't, but I'll stop. You asked for one.
I know, right? Every year during the holidays, and me being a United Methodist fellow, Christmas is a wonderful time for me. And I always enjoy all the arrangements as an arranger that are happening during the holidays. And one of my favorites is Oscar's Christmas album. Oh my gosh, the Little Town of Bethlehem and stuff. His reharm is just, woo! I'm getting chills now just thinking about it.
One of the great talents of all time.
I agree. Okay, number 4 on the Dig You Inquisition. Lynn Seaton, what is streaming at Castle Seaton? What are you and Mariana? Just what are you watching? What'd you see recently?
Oh, television-wise?
Television, yeah.
Well, we've been enjoying a collection, and I won't mention any one particular, but British mysteries. Murder mystery.
Oh, cool.
So
you got like a BritBox thing going on.
Well, we don't have BritBox, but we get them on, Netflix and Tubi, et cetera, et cetera. So several of those. Then there's some others that I enjoyed that are done with recently, but Outlander I thought was really cool.
Oh yeah.
The Peaky Blinders, it was really violent, but really well done. But
it really
hard
was
to watch sometimes. But man, it was so good.
It really was.
I'm near the end of Dark Winds, which
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's a Navajo police reservation
Oh,
drama. Yeah.
yes, I do know that one. Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, now that you mention it, the older he's kind of getting older now, the sheriff, right, and his wife, and they get into some of the spiritual aspects and
Yeah.
everything, and that is a great series.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
It also gets a little violent sometimes, but a lot of times it's just very interesting and thought-provoking. I enjoy that.
Yeah,
So,
man, look at the stuff we learn when we plumb the depths of the great artists. Okay,
but also,
number 5.
Sorry, I'm gonna
Yes,
have
go ahead.
to do more.
Go ahead. All right.
I mean, I enjoy, of course, Whose Line Is It Anyway? And then there's now there's some other British comedy things that I enjoy as well. So
Nice. The British humor, man, that's just the best.
yeah,
I'm a big Python fan.
absolutely. That's probably what started it for us in our
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we are exactly the same age. Well, close. I got a couple of months on you, but we are 57, folks.
the puzzle.
All right, then,
the
number
Puzzle
5.
Master.
Yes.
I really enjoy that.
Nice. Well, what is your favorite season of the year? This might tell us a little something.
I enjoy every seasons. That's why I'm glad I lived in Texas. But Texas has a longer spring and summer. And since I enjoy being outdoors and it's nice being down here.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly, how you handle the snow and cold in Chicago. I mean, I lived in snowland in New York, and we lived an hour north of the city.
Yeah.
And one winter, we got 17 snowstorms over a foot. And I never missed a gig. Never missed a gig, Wow. So I've seen it and been there, but I admit I'm getting acclimated to the warmer weather down here.
Well, you got plenty of it down there, that's for sure, man.
That's for sure.
I always enjoyed the long spring times, and the winter down there is actually like spring up here. So
yes,
I used to enjoy the cold weather more until I've lost 52 pounds or so. So I'm starting. I've lost my whale blubber heater that was naturally running all the time. So I get a little chillier nowadays, but. All right, then. Speaking of chilly stuff, number 6, your favorite ice cream. That's a tough one, maybe.
Yeah. Well, peanut butter chocolate chip.
Boom! You're winning. You are winning the Dig You Inquisition because that's my answer too. I'm definitely a peanut butter chocolate.
Anything peanut butter is fine with me.
You like the peanut butter cookies with the little fork smash on them?
Absolutely. Yeah. Last night, my dessert was yogurt with a spoon of peanut butter mixed in with it.
Oh, that sounds delightful. You remember our friend, formerly student and now peer deluxe, Ryan Davidson.
Incredible guitarist. Yeah.
One of my favorite musicians on the planet, one of my favorite people. When he was on recently, and his answer to that one was a Canadian variation. And instantly he goes, "Oh, well, of course, Tiger ice cream." And I thought, what is that? It turns out it's orange ice cream with black licorice swirls.
Wow.
Like, what? So it looks like a tiger.
Never seen that.
I hadn't either. We've not been allowed this joyous thing down here in the lower contiguous. But, man. All right, well, here's number 7, the easiest question in the Dig You Inquisition. Lynn Seaton, what is the meaning of life?
42.
We're going to hitchhike now into the galaxy. People of a certain oeuvre and chronological estimation always answer it that way.
Yeah. So the reference is from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
So that's the answer to life, the meaning of life and everything.
42. Wow. I don't think I've ever heard anybody answer like ace this thing, like it was a test, because all the answers would have been my answers as well.
Funny.
But that you are now, as Stephen Colbert would say, you are now fully known to the audience. And we've hit the magic number here. I think they say that the perfect podcast is 60 minutes long. And we've hit that number. So I do have to ask, though.
Yes.
What is next now that you are graduating from academia? This is Lynn's. He just announced his final semester. What's happening? And congratulations on the retirement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I plan to hopefully play more gigs, teach some outside of school, still do the summer bass workshop this summer and the UNC combo camp, but I'll be more available to do things midweek, and I'm always happy to go somewhere else and play with other people. As you know, when you're in academia, you have a limited amount of time that you can take off, and a great responsibility to be there. That's why we're there. I'm committed to the students, and I still will be committed to those that have been there, and I'm still concerned about them and want to see them through, and we'll stay in touch with everybody that I can. But we'll go into some other areas, maybe fish a little bit more. Haven't been doing much of that as much as I used to. So that'll be fun.
Man.
Then take some day trips or side trips with my wife, Mariana. We already did that last weekend. So we had planned that for some time, but with the way things worked out with the retirement at the end of the semester, it was a very timely thing to have happen in between the jury week and finals week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if one of those day trips, one of those weekend trips, road trips ever take you up to Chicago, you got to let me know. I want to introduce you to Deborah. We got married in October.
Congratulations.
And thank you. My life is now a good life. I don't know what it was before, but now it's a great and grand life. So I would love to introduce you guys to her, and we'll see the city.
Absolutely.
And I'll be back down your way in September. Another thing with Tim Ishii, so maybe we'll see if there'd be a little more time to grab some coffee or something.
That would be good. Well, you're down here on a mission. I understand it's hard to, when you're gigging, it's hard to see everybody and do everything.
It is, but it's always fun to get down your way to the great state of Texas.
Get down.
Get down. Hey. Well, sir. A pleasure this has been.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yes, namaste to you as well. And as Duke would say, I love you madly, but you already know this.
Indeed.
And thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Wow. Man, that was fun. It was so good to see my brother Lynn talk about our time together and to go deep and learn about this amazing voodoo that he been doing for all these years so well, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, you know what? If you're enjoying this podcast, you can help us a lot by subscribing to the YouTube channel and like the video. So just hit like for the video, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Those kind of things, that makes the almighty algorithm very happy. Feed me, it says. So like and subscribe will help grow You Dig into a mega monster so we can have more folks like Lynn Seaton stop by. And that's the mission, man. Lift up as many of these great artists that we can. Get some of the stories out there. Get them all recorded, codified, and available and archived. So that's what's going on here with You Dig, and you can help by subscribing and liking. All right, until next time, we'll see you on the next episode of You Dig.
WCBC Waste World. You Dig is a production of Waste World Productions 2026.
Whoa, man. Wait.
wait a minute. Now hold on.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we already did that one. It's the jingle, and then you talk really fast, except this time you had that cool filter on your voice.
Well, that's right. I mean, I'm hip.
No, wait. Let's just establish one point. You're not hip.
Oh, come on,
that's an unarguable point.
Wow.
What I'm saying
Wow.
is that we just had Lynn Seaton on the show, you dig? And that's the big time, man. That's a heavy cat.
I'm
We
hip.
can't be doing all this silly robot stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'm hip.
Wow, man. I don't know how to break it to you. You're many things, Fred.
What?
But you ain't hip, man.
Well, Dewey, you sound an awful lot like a famous jazz trumpet player to me.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't even play trumpet.
I don't know, Dewey. It sounds pretty familiar to me.
Regardless, let's move on, man. Because we can't be doing that lame stuff. You need to do a real,
What, a cue, like the cue, the
right.
ID at the end of the show.
Yeah, whatever you call it, man. Hey, look, all right, let's do it again and do it right, man, because we got to be professional. All right, Rosanna, Gary, y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
WCBC World.
You Dig is a production of World Productions 2026.
Oh, man, that's too slow, but
What?
whatever. We got to go.